What's going on, guys? I'm back today with another city update. Today we are working on our new castle section. I'm really excited about it. We have a castle tower as well as a slightly larger castle wall that will include a gate as well as two storefronts. And then we're also going to be adding some pedestrian furniture outside of the nougat building. So let's get started. So first up is the castle tower. Now you can see here I'm building several wall sections using medium nougat and dark tan. We've got a little bit of dark green landscaping throughout as well. If you want to see how I built this kind of piece by piece, as well as how I do some of the other texturing in my city, I have a tutorial that I just put out a few days ago on my channel, so go check that out after today's city update. So next we're going to start assembling the actual tower using those sections. And you can see we've got this little gap here because what I'm doing is I'm using straight and angled plates. They're all in 4x8, but we're going to start connecting them with these large stacks of hinge bricks in order to fill that gap and also to make them structurally a little stronger. So you can see here's the initial structure. So overall, I really like this shape, but now it's time to add the second level. All right, so starting off, we've got some modified bricks with the groove, as well as this little assembly with these 1x4 arches and the 1x2 snot bricks. So we're gonna add two 1x1 quarter tiles and then attach those two sections with the 2x2 medium nougat tiles. Then we're gonna add some more medium nougat snot bricks with the 1x2 curved slopes. And then we're gonna go back and add in some more 2x2 tiles, just so that everything is kind of clean and flat and follows that very traditional castle design. Now to kind of finish things off here, we're gonna add these medium nougat pentagonal tiles. And this design was loosely inspired by the castle in Montalcino. My wife and I went to Montalcino 2 years ago and walked around the castle, and it was really cool. And I've always had this idea to add some kind of a castle element to the city. So I wanted to borrow some ideas from it, but also put kind of my own spin on it. And I really like where we're headed. Now we're gonna go ahead and attach that to the castle walls we had previously built, which will also again reinforce and connect into those hinge bricks and overall just make the structure obviously complete, but also much sturdier. After a lot of experimenting, I came up with this rendition of a floor plate. It worked surprisingly well. I really just needed something to fill the gap here, and yeah, this actually worked out pretty nicely. So we're gonna reinforce it with some more hinge bricks. And now here you can see the finished product. Again, I need to add some more landscaping on those exposed snot bricks, but we'll do that later. But overall, I really like this. It was really fun. This is kind of out of my comfort zone and not what I typically build. So this was a ton of fun. So now we're gonna be working on the larger castle wall, and we have our first storefront here where I'm doing kind of like a little market stall, which is why I have those boxes attached to clips. Eventually I'll put some like minifigure, fruit or vegetables or something like that in there just to kind of fill the scene out. After that, we have this cool little dark tan design with those slopes as well as the quarter tiles sitting on headlight bricks. Simple door and windows with that cool, I think it's a new slope piece. I got it in one of my last pick-a-brick orders, and this just seemed like a really good opportunity to use it. After that, I've inserted this little small window section with the dark brown shutters as well as the gray windowsill. Eventually I'll put some landscaping on that. And then we've got that curved white awning, again, just to tie in. And I really needed something here as an awning. I just didn't want to do anything too crazy. And then again, topping it off with a ton more texturing. I gotta say, by the end of this build, I was so ready to be done texturing with medium nougat and dark tan. It looks really good, but it was a real hassle. So again, got that same castle wall design like we had from the other sections, so that way it's all just consistent throughout the city. And it is a little fragile. You can see a few pieces kind of snapped off there, but I'm really happy with where we're headed. All right, so now for the next storefront. And before I build it, I wanted to show you guys, I was inspired by this image of this really cool modern building inside this Italian villa. You can see it kind of influenced the design just in terms of having like a ton of windows, and it feels like very modern. Obviously, the inside of the back wall is really ugly, so I don't want that to shine through. Eventually I'll have to go back and fix that. I don't know if it's too many windows. I love the idea of something a little bit more modern sitting inside of a kind of castle wall. It just feels like different and unique. I just don't know if it's too different and unique. And then we have this weird ugly thing I built above the window or above the door. Eventually in the video you'll see I go back and change it. And then again, more windows on that side. All the snot bricks are for landscaping, so we'll do that here in just a moment. All right, so now it's time to join both of the storefronts together. You can see there is that archway, which is kind of the gate. I was gonna build an actual gate in there. it's not really wide enough, and it was just kind of odd, and I really just got kind of focused on other projects in the city and for this build. But I actually like the way it looks. I think we need to finish out, I've just got to add some window glass, but I ran out of that somehow. One of the things I really like though is seeing it with the castle tower at the end. Makes me kind of want to do my own medieval build and build another tower and put it on the end and kind of make it a whole intentional like medieval mock. I really liked how this section turned out. You can see one of the techniques I use is I put those 1x1 plates, round plates with the open studs on them, just to make it easier to attach the little landscaping bushels that I build with those 6-stem plant pieces. Highly recommend it, just makes it a ton easier. So here you can see I did go back and revise that weird kind of tiled section above the door. I added this simple red awning. I needed just a color, but I wanted it to be dark, nothing too bright, nothing that was going to really take away from the build. But now that you see the finished product with both the storefronts and the gate and the landscaping, I really, really like it. It's definitely made me like the section on the right more with all the windows, just because the landscaping takes away from the impact of the windows, I think, and kind of camouflages it. So I think for now, I'm going to keep that design. All right, so like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I did make some updates to this little area of the Nougat building. And first things first, I went ahead and I added some bougainvillea to kind of wrap around as like an arch at this entryway point. If you remember to the last city update, you remember I probably said that I hated the design that I had with those swirl pieces. This was always kind of my idea. I just wasn't sure how to make it work. So after that, I went ahead and I added some very simple minifigure furniture. If you missed it, I do have a tutorial out now for this furniture. You guys know me, I don't like building furniture. I don't like committing my parts to it. So when I do build furniture, I want it to be very non-part intensive. And I also want it to just be very simple, because I think that to me, the important part is the build, and I don't want the furniture to take away from that. I just want it to help kind of add some context. This is all very simple. You probably have the parts on hand, and I think it looks really good. I wanted it all to be white to just kind of follow suit with the white details of the railing and of that Nougat building. So really, really pleased with how this turned out. All right, the moment of truth, the before and the after. So I had to shift the lighting around for the after because the castle wall in the back got kind of hidden. I gotta say, I really like it. I'm surprised at how much I like it. I especially love having the tower here against the rockwork. I just think the contrast is really nice. That is for sure gonna stay. What I don't know is I'll probably shift the dark red building down a little bit, because right now it's obviously too close and I've got to figure out what I want to do with that area. I'm going to leave it that way for now. The castle gate and the 2 storefronts gets totally lost back there. I still don't have a clear vision of what I want to do back there. I like the build. I might just end up moving it to elsewhere in the city at some point. But to be honest with you, I'm super, super burnt out on this area of the city. I've been working on it for several months now. I love how everything has come together, but it's time to take a break. So that's why I've decided to start working on a totally new section of the city. But if you want to see what that new section is, then you will just have to check back in a little bit and wait for that next city update. In the meantime, you can check out these videos that the YouTube algorithm thinks you'll enjoy.